Hey guys, it's me, it's Queen Elsa Heru, and I'm coming to you today with another exciting edition of Ask an Aquarius. So if you have time, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and smack the bell. And if you have hit the button and you know somebody that would benefit from one of my videos, please pass them on. That's what they're here for. Okay? All right, so somebody asked me, he said, this is a guy, he said, you always seem to be okay. You seem to be feeling good. You seem to be in a pretty good spirit. And he said, what do you do when you feel funky? What do you do when you're sad? What do you do when something happens that upsets you? What do you do when somebody says something stupid to you and it puts you in a weird headspace? What do you do? And I was like, I shift the mood. As soon as I can get a hold on that's what's going on in my mind, I shift the mood. So one way I shift the mood is by doing a meditation. Very easy way. I can go to YouTube. I can pull up any meditation for 5 minutes to a couple hours if I want to, and then do a meditation. YouTube also has some really good Reiki videos. If you don't know what Reiki is energy healing. And if you type in Reiki, Reiki, and any word behind it, Reiki for love, Reiki for inflammation, Reiki for the third eye, Reiki, anything like that. If you type that in, all of these videos come up about Reiki, and some of them are really good. So what I'll do is I'm going to attach some things to this video that some of you may be able to use. I'm going to attach a couple different things that might be good for you. So those are things that I do. Another thing that I do is I read one of the holy books. I put myself into a good spiritual space. I read the Bhagavad Gita. I read something by Oprah. I read something by Eckhart Tolle. I read something by Iyanla Vanzant. I read this book. Look at this one. Oh my God, y'all. I've read this one so many times. I've had this book for a long time. And I've read this one so many times that I had to tape it together. It is falling apart. This book is called The Wisdom of Ma'ati, The Ancient Egyptian Path to Enlightenment Through Virtue and Nonviolence. It's by Dr. Ashby. I've read this book since the 90s. And as you can see, it's in pieces. Here's one I just got. Same kind of vibration, same kind of energy, positive energy. I'm reading this one now. Stepping into Ourselves. Stepping into Ourselves, an anthology of writings on priestesses. So this one right here has lots of spiritual information, lots of energy, lots of good energy on the goddess and on being a priestess. So that's another thing I do. I read something of the spiritual nature. I journal. I get out my journal and just start writing about, what's going on with me, what's upsetting me, or what I'm feeling, or whatever the case is. And another thing I do, and this one is really for emergencies. This is one that you really need something strong with this one. When I'm at my worst, when I'm feeling my worst, when I'm hurting the most, it helps me the most to help other people, to make somebody else feel good. So I might go buy a card for my best friend. I might go mail a letter to somebody or send somebody a postcard that says, I love you. Those kind of things. I was watching a video earlier by a gentleman whose name is Dean Graziosi, and he's on YouTube. And he's really good. He's a great motivational speaker. I've been watching him a lot. And he talked about doing an exercise that I do, but I didn't do it this way. I use the gratitude rock exercise. Anybody who's seen The Secret probably heard about the gratitude rock exercise. In this exercise, you get a rock, you get a crystal, you get some kind of rock, And in the morning time, you leave your rock with your jewelry, your keys, your money, your wallet, whatever you're going to take every morning with you. And you leave your rock there. So when everything is in your pockets and in your pocketbook, you grab your rock and you say 3 things that you're grateful for. And then put the rock in your pocket. And then when you come home at night from whatever you had to do, take the rock out your pocket, the crystal out your pocket, put it back where you're going to put your keys and your wallet and your things, and you say 3 different things that you're grateful for. Now, Dean's method was a little bit different, and I really like it, so I'm actually going to try it. What he said was, make a list of all of the people, when you feel really crappy, make a list of all of the people who were there for you in your life. All of the ones who were good to you, all the ones who helped you, all the ones who encouraged you. And then send them a message. Call them, go see them, send them a text, and tell them that. Tell them how they made you feel. Tell them how much you appreciate what they did for you. And don't just say, hey, I care about you, just some generic kind of thing. Tell them. Be like, when I was at my lowest point, when my husband left, you were the only thing that kept me sane. And I appreciate you for that. And I thank you for that. And this could be people that you don't see all the time, people that you do see all the time. It could be anybody, Make a list of them. And send them all a message, or send one of them a message, whatever you want to do. There's no right or wrong to this exercise. But I would love if people would do this and let me know what kind of results you got from it. Because some people, like I said before, Dean was saying in the video, they're beaming after they've sent and received these messages back. So hit up your second grade teacher and tell her how her love of poetry made you want to be a poet. And now you're doing spoken word performances every Friday or something like that, You could make somebody else's day like that. And the vibration puts more positive vibrations into the world. And we can never have enough positive vibrations. So those are the things I do when I feel crappy. I shift my mood. I don't stay in crappy spaces. When I used to go through depressions many, many years ago, God, it's been like so long now. It's amazing how long ago it's been. But when I used to go through those depressions, it's been over a decade. I would wallow in the energy. I would wallow in the sadness. I would wallow in the hurt. I would cry. I'd wail. I would just wallow in it though. Instead of just expelling it, releasing it, and moving on. I didn't do that. I just wallowed in the hurt. So now I don't do that. Now when something hurts, I expel the energy. I release the energy. If I'm sad, I cry. And then a day or so later, I start doing things to lift my mood. If I'm angry, I usually talk to somebody when I'm angry and be like, yo, so-and-so this, so-and-so, and I get the energy out. And then I immediately start going, okay, it's time to move on from this. What can I do with this energy? How can I deal with this in a productive way? You've talked about it. You've journaled about it. You've got it up. How do I let it go? How do I forgive it and release it? Is really my question. So when you're feeling crappy, it will behoove you to find ways to lift yourself back up. Express the energy, because you can't just have the crappy energy and act like it's not there and say, okay, I'm gonna ignore this crappy energy. You have to deal with the energy, express the energy. It's kind of like when you see those geysers on TV, and every so often the pressure builds up and then it bursts up. That's how anger is. That's how emotions are. So you let the energy out, and then you find ways to calm yourself back down. Bring yourself back to peace. Okay, so your baby's mom called the crib, acted a fool. Y'all got into a fight. You slammed the phone down on her. And then you spend 2 or 3 days telling everybody what happened, how he upset you, she upset you. And you spend all of this time dwelling in the anger. Instead of just talking about it with one trusted person or writing about it in your journal. And then saying, you know what? How can we do better in this situation? How can we release this anger and co-parent? See, the questions have to go back to how can the energy become better? People don't ask themselves that question. They just stay stuck in a bad energy. And it just gets worse and worse and worse. So when I find myself in crappy energy, I release it. And then I move on. I find some kind of way to make myself feel better. And the ways that I gave you today are the top ways that work the fastest. Okay? So make your list. Make your list of people that you're grateful for. And after you send some messages and do some things, tell me in the comments how it worked for you. I'm going to try it myself. I didn't do it yet. I didn't do that one yet. I use the gratitude rock all the time, but I haven't tried this one. So I'm going to try it. And I'm going to do it more often because I think that the more I put out that energy, the more compassion and the more love I'm putting into the world. Okay? So have a great weekend. Bye-bye.